Roll the tape for this, our main event of the evening. We introduce the champion, Chris, the West Side Strangler Brennan. Let's get it all!
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Strangler Podcast. We are here to go over UFC 291 in Salt Lake City, Utah.
That's right.
Good card, stacked.
Great card, and we've even had some shuffling happen. We'll get to it as we get there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it shuffled because it brought up Wonder Boy versus Michel Pereira onto the main card.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting fight.
It will be. It's crazy. The headliner, just to go back real quick, Derek Lewis is on the prelim. He's the headliner of the prelim. So that tells you how good this card is if Derek Lewis is in the prelims.
You know, when Uriah Faber used to fight, he used to say he liked that spot because he could make a lot of money on sponsorship. Yeah. Because it's the last fight of the free fight before it's pay-per-view, so they get a lot of views on that. So that's actually the spot Luke's in on this next fight. We're the main event of the undercard as well. So
quick side question on this. Sponsorship for the UFC is a little bit different. They don't like you to do sponsorships.
Well, now,
anymore,
no. But back when Uriah was fighting, you could still get sponsored.
That's what I thought.
All right. Now it sucks.
So
that's just my opinion.
Wonder Boy, Michel Pereira. Wonder Boy's coming in 17-6-1. Pereira's coming in at 28-11-0. This is a fight at 170.
Yeah, that's going to be a good fight. In my opinion, Wonder Boy's the better fighter. Michel Pereira's very flashy, does a lot of flashy stuff. Stephen Thompson is that high-level karate guy, sticks to his he's pinpoint accurate, his darts in and out. He's very he's long, but they're both long, I believe. I think that his Michel, his awkwardness is going to get him punched in the face. That's what I think is going to happen.
I saw Stephen Thompson was actually on this season of The Ultimate Fighter. He came in and he did some coaching. Gosh, I think it might have been on Connor's side.
Oh, really?
And I really liked who he was. Seems like a real cool dude.
Super good dude.
Seems like a really, really good guy. This fight was actually scheduled back in June, and they had to push it. So this is a reschedule of a fight that was going to happen. And I don't even remember why, but I saw it on there. So you're liking Wonder Boy on this?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wonder Boy on that one.
Michael Chiesa and Kevin Holland is the next fights.
So Michael, he's moved up to 170. Yep. And Kevin Holland's moved down to 170. He used to be an 85er, and Michael Chiesa used to be a 55er. And I like him at 170. He's better. He's a much bigger guy now and looks better. Kevin Holland, I think, has better striking. But I think that Michael Chiesa probably rear naked chokes him.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm a big Kevin Holland fan. I like that guy.
I like him as well. I like him as well. I wish he would fight to his abilities, and I don't think that he does.
Okay.
I know he's a black belt, I believe, under Travis Luter, who's a stud jiu-jitsu guy. And I wish he would have better jiu-jitsu. His striking's very good. When he gets taken down by decent wrestlers, decent jiu-jitsu guys, he kind of gets stuck and is not able to do much. And it might be because he's so long. He's very long. I'm not sure, but aside from beating up Jacare from the bottom, he knocked him out from the bottom. Besides that, like when he's on his back, he's not great. And so it'll be interesting to see. I just think Chiesa is a better grappler once it gets there for sure.
Chiesa, 63% of his wins is coming by way of submission.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's where he wants to go. In fact, he doesn't have any wins by way of KO or TKO, with just one loss. So he's got some decisions. Is this you've talked a lot about fighters falling in love with their power. Kevin's got a good ground game. He's a black belt. He's got
I believe he's a striker first.
Okay.
I believe he was a striker first. I'm not positive about that, but I think watching him fight, I believe that he's a striker first.
Okay. He's coming in off of off of a win against Santiago Ponzinibbio, who's a solid fighter. He's kind of a journeyman guy, but he's got losses behind that to Wonder Boy and Hamzat. So two tough fights for him.
Yeah, the Hamzat fight, he didn't really have a chance in. He was on the ground within about 7 seconds.
He got ran over.
Yeah.
I remember that fight.
He ran out Hamzat and just jumped on his back.
That was it. It was like the Tasmanian Devil almost. Like he was just all over him at just that pace. Okay, well we'll put you down for Michael Chizie on this one. Tony Ferguson and Bobby Green. Tony Ferguson, man.
He's still there.
Still there. And I'm looking at him. He's 39 years old. It feels like he's 50.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's been around for so long.
Not only that, just his performances lately have been, he's struggled a lot. Like I think, did he find a win somewhere anywhere, or did he not?
No, he's on a 5-fight skid.
Yeah.
Gaethje, Oliveira, Dariush, Chandler, and Nate Diaz. Most recently in September of 2022.
Not to take anything away from Nate, but if he wasn't beating Nate, who was very inactive, he's not going to beat any of the other top guys in this division. Now, Bobby Green. Bobby Green was kind of there, then drifted off, and then is back again and has been looking good. I think he has a good chance of beating Tony Ferguson for sure. Nate Diaz, were you looking back at Nate?
No, I was actually looking back at you're right, Bobby Green. He went inactive for 5 years. 4.5 years. He lost in December of 2020. Oh, I'm sorry. No, he didn't go that inactive. I was looking at the wrong dates.
I just meant he fell off as far as doing well against the good guys.
Yeah, lost to Drew Dauber, lost to Islam, lost to Shane Shapiro, and he's been kind of 500 over the past. He tried to fight Jim Miller twice. Both of those ended up being canceled. He doesn't really have any significant wins since, going back to 2020. Right. He's been just kind of 500 at that point.
Yeah, it's a tough fight to call. I'm going to go with Bobby Green just because Tony has literally not put it together in years now. He hasn't found a win. He's fought tough guys. Yes, he's fought the top guys. Bobby Green has beat guys that are better than Tony is now, but he's also lost to guys that are better than Tony is now, or not as even good as Tony is now. He's kind of been, all over the place. I think on the feet he beats up Tony. And if Tony can't take him down, I'm going with Bobby. But to be honest, I have I would not put $1 on that fight unless it was like someone was plus 1,000. I'd throw $100 on it just for the hell of it.
Just cause.
But yeah, I'm not going to put any money on that fight because number one, they're both too inconsistent, and number two, I've got zero skin in the game. I don't care who wins that fight.
Yeah.
I'd imagine if Tony loses, the UFC's got to cut him at some point.
That was my next question.
Yeah, he's been the guy for a long time. He was on a giant win streak at one point, and never got the shot that he was supposed to get. But
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fight win streak, including Cowboy, Anthony Pettis, Kevin Lee, RDA, Edson Barboza.
No title fight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He wanted him and Khabib fell through. I want to say 5 times.
Yeah,
at least 4 times, but I think 5 times.
I see 5. You're right. 1, 2, 3, 5 times.
Yeah, that's got to be the most fallen through fight that never happened ever.
Ooh.
He got injured. Khabib got injured again. I don't even know all of them, but I know that they were both injured in certain times of that, and it just never happened. And by the time it would have happened, like people talk about Tony before as he was so great, but and then it was too late by the time he would have gotten to Khabib. Mm-hmm. Maybe, but he never beat anybody like Khabib. You know, never beat anybody like him in his run. So it's hard to say. He's definitely not that guy now.
No, for sure.
He's got like, he's wild. He's crazy. He's legit crazy.
So you're putting your money on? No, you're not.
I'm not putting any money on
down,
Bobby Green.
But you're thinking Bobby Green's
Yes.
got this one.
Don't take my word for that and put money on him. Unless there's like crazy odds, then go ahead. But I didn't say it.
This brings us to our co-main event, and there has been some drama and some shakeup happening at 205 pounds. Initially on this card, up until a couple of days ago, we were going to see Paulo Costa fight. That got pushed back because now Costa is fighting Hamzat in UFC 294, I believe, in October.
21st Abu Dhabi Tim's card.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's 294, right?
I believe so.
Man, and you're going to be, you'll be right there for that.
That's the plan.
That's going to be awesome. 205 has been really weird. You've seen a lot of unique things happen there.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we got started. It started back with Glover losing to Yuri, then Yuri vacating.
Yep.
Then Jamal Hill fighting Glover and winning.
But yes, because Jamal Hill was going to fight Yuri. Yuri couldn't do it. Glover stepped in.
That's right.
And Yuri vacated. Glover stepped in. Jamal Hill won. Got that fight.
And now he vacated.
And now he vacated. That's right. But there was even another fight that happened before that was even wilder, because there was another fight in let's see, I think it was 282, that Ankalaev and
oh yes, another P, right?
Dang, let me see if I can find it real quick. There was another fight that was supposed to happen, and that ended in a draw, which meant that they didn't get it.
That was the one that ended up with nasty calf kicks at the end of the fight, like chopping.
Blachowicz and Ankalaev fought in December. They were fighting for the belt. It ended in a draw, so nobody got it. So then Prohaska fought Hill in January. I'm sorry, Teixeira fought Hill in January. Hill got the belt, vacated it just recently. And what we're seeing here with the fight now between, I can't even keep him straight now. Let me go back to the fight. But between
Jan, right?
Jan Blachowicz and Alex Pereira.
Right. Moving up to 205.
And these
thank
guys,
goodness, for one, that he's moving up to 205. What a monster he is.
But this isn't for the belt.
No. So this is for a shot at the belt.
Correct.
So what other fight is happening to take place at some point that they're going to fight the winner of that?
I mean, it can't be the fight between Hamzat and Paulo Costa. I think Costa's ranked too low, and that's not for another 3 months, which means
that's at 85.
Oh, that's at 80. Okay,
yeah, that's at 85. I don't know who is the 205 that would fight there, unless Ankalaev gets a shot at somebody, since he was on the other end of that draw,
right,
against Jan. So Jan's getting a fight to put him in line for the belt. Maybe Ankalaev's fighting somebody else.
Yeah, maybe they're going to run that back again, which would be cool because it ended in a draw. So,
right.
I mean, the winner of those two fights, that would be interesting.
No, because that's Jan. That would be for the belt if that's the point, because Jan's fighting tonight or this weekend,
right,
for the shot at the belt.
Right.
So if he runs it back after that with
Ankalaev,
that would have to be for the belt if Jan gets a shot at the belt after this. That's wild. Too much confusion going on there. John Jones left and everything went crazy.
It's like a vacuum of power.
I want to see John Jones and what's the English kid's name that just fought this weekend? Oh, dang it. Really good. He's been out for a long time with knee surgery.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me see if I can.
He's got great grappling. Decent. He's a big boy, like 6'4", 6'5". Yes,
Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall. He's 6'4", 6'5", 260 pounds.
Boy, he looked good too.
Rolls really well. Good jiu-jitsu. Strikes very well. Lots of power. I'm excited to see that fight when it happens.
Yeah, I think he was ranked 5th coming into this fight.
Yeah,
as well.
he said him next or one more than him, but that'll be exciting.
Blachowicz and Pereira.
Blachowicz wrestles him
and wins.
He should. That guy, if anyone fights that guy right now, the wrestlers need to want to fight him right now. You know, while he's new in the sport and getting better at wrestling. He's only going to get better at wrestling.
Sure.
So right now would be the time to get that guy. If you have to fight that guy, it should be right now.
Blachowicz, I saw some highlights of him fighting Ankalaev and just murdering his legs.
Yeah.
Does he do that against Pereira? I feel like Pereira's got the skill set to not allow that to happen.
Well, not only that, he's got the death touch if he catches you with that left hook while you're throwing the calf. So I would say no.
Yep.
He is the guy that beat.
Is he?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So that would be my plan. Fight him the same way. Just wrestle him, exhaust him. You know, and I believe that's what he does. He's a lot bigger than Izzy. You know, so it will be a little more difficult and stronger for sure. But I think that if he wrestles him, you know, and has the conditioning to do that, he should win that fight.
Is Jan able to control where this fight goes? Can he get past the striking of Pereira and get him to the ground?
Even Izzy took him down a couple times in their first fight.
Yep.
That's different because he had the striking to get in there with him and enable him to get close enough to wrestle him. But it's hard, you know, it's hard to say. But yes, he should be able to get him. He got through Izzy striking to put him on the ground. You know, it's the same thing. They are kind of the same guy, except Izzy's a lot more flashy. And I would say that Pereira's got more power.
These two men stepping into the ring are the only two men that can claim a professional victory over Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
That's a cool.
And only one of them can claim that they've never been beaten by him.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true. But I guess you go the other way and say the other one's beat him multiple times.
3 times, yeah.
So you're taking Jan on this, and you think it goes to the ground. And
yeah, I think he's smart enough to know that that's where he wins the fight. You know, so I think yes.
Pereira's only 7-2 right now, and I know he's got a long history of professional fights in the kickboxing world. But you know, 7-2, you look at that record, and somebody who wouldn't know might look at that and might be a little deceptive. But do you think he's coming in with a lot of experience? He's ranked 11th, which feels really, really low to me. He fell really far after that fight with Izzy.
He did. It's because the only reason he was at that ranking was because of Izzy, right? Like he got bumped up fast to get that fight with Izzy.
Yeah.
Who did he fight right before Izzy? It was someone ranked to get him up there, and then he had Izzy next.
Sean Strickland.
Okay, yeah. So he beat Strickland to get into the rankings, but after he lost to Izzy, he kind of bounced right back out of the top 10.
Sean Strickland's that's a big win.
Oh, huge
It's a
win.
huge win.
Huge win. I don't know why he fought him that way, but he fought him that way because that's Sean Strickland. But he also could have wrestled him. He could have wrestled him and beat him on the ground.
Yeah.
But wanted to prove a point, I guess, and
Yeah,
just went out there and stood with him. But man,
If I remember right, Strickland was asked, that was the one, it's a famous clip where Strickland is asked who's the best striker in that event, and he's like, well, that guy KO'd that guy, talking about Strickland or Pereira and Izzy. And he started just a whole mess of crap between them.
Yeah.
And I think he probably went out there to show that he thought he was the best striker and tried to go prove that against Pereira, and that didn't work out.
it's the fight game, not the striking game. Like, you want to win, right? So, like, why not fight where you are best? The point to prove is you won.
Yes.
Not that you had better
how you
striking.
did it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great point. Fight of the night, contender,
No question.
probably right
No
here.
question.
Dustin Poirier.
CTE of the night.
Dustin Poirier coming in ranked at number 4, 29-7 is going to fight Justin Gaethje, coming in at 24-4, ranked number 5. This is for the BMF title. Thoughts on the BMF belt first? What are your thoughts?
It's whatever. It's I wondered if they were ever going to do another one again. The first one was Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb, but at that point in time, the reason I don't like it for these two is because the point in time where Nate and Jorge Masvidal fought for it, neither one of them were ever going to win the belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were never going to win the belt. So here's a gimme for you guys to win a belt. And it was really, I'm sure, for Nate, and Nate still didn't win the belt. You know? And so then they now brought it back again for these two, and these two will legit put on that BMF fight, and have already done it once. But yeah, man, I to be honest, I hate watching these guys do this to themselves so many times in their careers. Gaethje, for one, you know, he has good wrestling, good college wrestling, and just wants to Michael Chandler it. You know, like that's their they want to impress the fans. And man, they may not feel that shit right now, but they're going to. They're going to. You know, I didn't get hit very much in my career. I was very fortunate to not get hit much in my career, but any time I've got like a headache or flashes or anything like that, I'm like, was that because I got punched 10 years ago? Like, it makes me question that. And I really didn't get hit that much. I got hit more in training than in my fights. But these guys, I mean, they fight most people's 5-6 fights in one fight every time. As
far as damage and significant strikes.
For sure. And if they go 5 rounds of that, you know, that's just, it's so, not to be a Debbie Downer on the fighting, but to just keep matching guys like that up that fight like that. Of course, it's good for the crowd, but man, is it hard on their brains, and they continue to fight like that. You know, they don't go through a fight like that and then fight their next fight different. They come back and fight like that again and fight like that again just for the paycheck and the crowd. But you know, it's gonna come back and bite them in the ass at some point.
I need to make a correction. The website that I was looking at had inaccurate rankings. Poirier's ranked 2. Justin Gaethje is ranked 3.
Okay.
And actually, I want to go back even further. I said Pereira was ranked 11th on UFC's website for middleweight. He's actually ranked number 2, just behind Plessis. So,
okay.
I want to set those both straight.
Good corrections.
Big, yeah.
Who won the first time? Poirier?
Yes.
Knocked him out?
I think it was a stoppage. I think it was a TKO.
Okay.
Compare the two fighters. In my mind, Poirier and Gaethje, I really like them both. They're 155. They're at the top of their position. They're both kind of, you know, all out, a little bit reckless, a little bit swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
Am I not looking at that right, or is there a deeper level to the comparison?
I think Dustin Poirier is a better jiu-jitsu guy.
Okay.
Great striking. I think Gaethje has great striking. He has very good striking, but he also has very good wrestling. You know, I don't know. I just feel like Poirier doesn't get quite as wild, you know, and that's probably why he beat him the first time. I think they both have nasty calf kicks, so we'll see who gets started with those first in the fight. Last time I talked to Dustin, he said he was not fighting at 155 again. He was only fighting at 170.
Okay.
And he was only going to take big fights, special fights, whatever.
Okay. Well, he's 1 for 2 on that.
Right. So that is a big fight. It is a special fight, and but it's back at 55. I'm sure he's not happy to fight at 55. And Gaethje seems like a big guy to me. Like they could have fought at 70 since it's just the two of them, not fighting for anything in the rankings or anything. You know, it's for the BMF belt. So
yeah, why not go to 170 and not have the weight cut?
Make it easier on both of you.
You were talking about the size. So Poirier is only 5'9" with a reach of 73. Gaethje is 5'11". I did not know Gaethje was as tall as he is.
He's big too. Like he's good size.
And his reach is 70. So he's taller, but I think I said that Poirier had the better reach. In
that picture with me,
73.
Poirier, Mike Brown and Thiago Alves. I'm sorry, Thiago Alves. Thiago's giant, but Dustin was a pretty decent amount bigger than I was.
Yeah.
And I was probably what I am now, like 175.
Yeah.
And if he's fighting at 55, he's probably like 85, 90, I guess, when he's not in camp. And so that's kind of like what I was. I used to be like 90, 95, fighting at 70.
Okay.
So I guess it's not that big of a cut, but Gaethje, I just feel like Gaethje's a big dude. Like, looks big.
For those who haven't seen it, Dustin looks like he shaved his head for this fight, which is a little bizarre. I've never seen him. I don't know if that was to make weight or.
I don't know.
But I've never seen that before.
Interesting fight.
How do you pick here?
I mean, I'll go with Poirier again.
Okay.
But I would not be surprised if Gaethje wins. I'm not surprised how this fight goes either way, just depending on how they fight.
Yeah.
You know? And if they fight on the feet the whole time, they could easily knock each other out. You know, they could easily get their fight stopped. So that's another fight I wouldn't put money on. Is there odds?
You know what? I think I saw them, and they were both coming in at minus.
Yeah.
It was like a minus 150 and a
so
minus
it's
195 or something like that. If I
There's
remember.
no money to be made on that fight.
Yeah. Look at it, Poirier. His resume kind of speaks for itself, but you go back at Poirier's losses. Charles Oliveira, Habib, Michael Johnson, Conor McGregor 2014, and an early Cub Swanson, and then an early Chan Sung Young in 2012.
So from Conor on,
From Conor
he was
on.
very different. He was a much more refined, better fighter.
Yeah.
For sure, yes. And him and Gaethje, when was their fight?
2018, April
Okay.
of 2018.
So since then, they've both only lost to Khabib and Charles Oliveira,
I think that's right.
right?
Yep, I think that's right. That's
I think that's since they fought each other.
a pretty high level. Khabib, Oliveira, that's correct.
Yeah, since they
Yes.
fought each other, that's the only people that they've lost.
And we talked about Gaethje and Fiziev, and I remember actually talking about this because you went out on a little bit of a limb, and you were like, yeah, I don't think that Gaethje's that great of a striker, and he actually
he sold
he
me that
looked
night.
good.
He
He
looked very
did.
good. He did.
He did, but he beat Michael Chandler. He beat in a 2020 Tony Ferguson. He beat a Cowboy and Edson Barboza, and James Vick. Those are the wins that Gaethje has had since he fought Poirier. Poirier has beat Michael Chandler, Conor, Dan Hooker, Max Holloway, Eddie Alvarez, and then again the losses in there to Habib and Oliveira. So pretty similar,
Yeah.
like strength of schedules, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term.
Yeah, they're both very similar. This is like a very even fight that a lot of things could go right or wrong for either guy in.
Yeah, I feel like they both kind of, and you've seen them in their interviews, they've both have said super classy, super respectful of each other, and both of them has said in so many words, I have to fight perfect in order to win this fight. I can't screw up.
True.
And
True.
that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself.
Was he 29 and 7?
Yeah,
That's Poirier.
that is Poirier. And Gaethje's 20. Wait, they both. So Dustin's 29 and 7, and then Gaethje. Is he 24 and 4? Okay,
24
that's
and 4.
yeah, that's
Only 4 losses, and man, his losses are to good guys.
Oliveira, Habib, Poirier, Eddie Alvarez.
Yep.
I saw just a real quick video of Poirier, and he basically did kind of a Make-A-Wish thing for a kid that is 18-year-old kid that developed cancer. While he was healing, he watched the UFC, became a fan, really liked Poirier. Poirier invited him to go out to ATT in Coconut Creek, and they
Nice.
sparred for a little bit, and he showed the kid put him in what looked like almost like a darce, and Gaethje Poirier tapped and was like, it's still in. It was so cool. I was
That's
joking,
awesome. That's
like
awesome.
he is he is a good dude, man.
And he has a big thing that Connor was supposed to have been donated to as well. Whatever that his fundraiser that he has in Louisiana, and then Gaethje is also involved in something very similar on his end. So yeah, they're both good dudes. I'm excited to see this fight. Sort of.
So if we go back and recap, then you picked Poirier on this one. Again, I know you're splitting hairs a little bit. And then, if I remember right, you also picked Blachowicz. You didn't want to pick between Ferguson and Green. And then I'm trying to go back on the other ones to see who was left that you picked. Kevin Holland, you picked Toulouse.
And then Michel Pereira was fighting who? Wonder Boy, and I picked Wonder Boy.
And you did pick Wonder Boy. All right, well, we'll see
Cool.
how things go.
See you guys next week to go over the recap.
It is all over, just like that.